Okay.
Is the recording going?
Yeah.
I didn't hear the.
Yeah, that's how I knew they didn't have that, because I hit record and it should have said it, but.
So we're good?
We're good, yeah.
Okay.
And video's going.
All right, I'd like to call the Village of Weston Plan Commission meeting to order for Monday, April 13th at 2026 at 6 p.m., starting a little late at 6:40. Roll call, please.
Yes, Cronin,
Here.
Zagami,
Here.
Eason,
Here.
Parent,
Here.
Hoffman,
Present.
Jordan,
Here.
Lumber.
Here.
All right, public comments for items that do not appear on this agenda noted as public hearings. Do we have any public comments? Second time, do we have any public comments? Third time, any comments? Hearing none, we'll move on to item number 3, written communications, disclosures and recusals. Members of the body should make any required disclosures or recusals during this time. Do we have any? Any written communications?
I have no written. things.
All right, item number 4, minutes from March 9th, 2026 Plan Commission meeting.
So moved.
We have a motion by Deason, seconded by Zagami. On the question? Hearing none, all those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? So carried. Item number 5, public hearing, project number 2023-0188, requesting an amendment number 3 to conditional use permit number 2023-0188 for a personal storage facility within the B3 General Business Zoning District at 8211 and 8311 Schofield Avenue. I'll open the public hearing. Presentation by the staff and or the applicant.
All right, the applicant is requesting amendment number 3 to the existing conditional use permit that was granted back in 2023 to revert the approved site plan and building elevations back to those adopted under amendment 1 prior to the previous amendment 2. So I kind of gave you a little history off of there of what the original amendment was, but basically just for the purposes this evening, they will be going back to the Maxi buildings. Because in amendment 2, they changed to, they got rid of the Maxi building and put in a number of minis. So that's really the only change on it. So they're asking to go back, and because it's an amendment to the conditional use permit that you guys gave, you have to go through the full conditional use permit process.
So I understand, so they were gonna put in these smaller units and now they're asking that they could put in some bigger units.
Yeah, it's just going back to the original building. So it's
Yeah.
one building with, I don't remember how many, if it's like 15 maxis instead of 40 minis. So it does make it lower, the overall total number of units in the build,
Right.
development goes lower a little
But they're
bit.
bigger.
Yep.
I'm assuming, Owen, if I can ask you a question, I'm assuming you're having better luck with the maxis then, because there was probably over.
Yeah, so
minis.
what happened is we designed.
You just state your name and address for the record,
Yeah,
please.
Owen Jones, 723 Country Club Road. So originally we did, alternating maxi mini, and I had a third party management company managing it, and the maxis were not filling. So September of last year, I'm like, hey, I need to amend this to do 2 more minis to end it instead of a mini and then a maxi, because we're not seeing the demand. And 3 weeks after I got that second amendment approved, we took over management. We filled all the units in 40 days. So then we were like, oh, there actually is demand. We aren't crazy. So we would prefer to stick with the original plan now that we know the demand is there. Because what's nice about Maxi is it's a unique product offering in our market. There's not a ton of them, and like with RVs and larger stuff, trailers or whatnot, it's just nice to have 14 feet wide. They're better tenants. Typically, it's a more affluent tenant. It's we're not chasing rent. It's once they move in, they never move out. So there's a lot of advantages to it that you know, aside from it just being the, to give you the long answer.
Thank you.
So, your timeline, if this gets approved tonight, when do you think you'd have these last two buildings up and rentable?
So the next building's being manufactured right now by Walters, so that'll deliver May 18th. We expect that to get erected over 4 weeks. So the next building, building 7, will be done middle of June. And then we would order our maxi building. It takes a little longer for them to build that, but we'll have it done by the end of summer.
Thank you.
All right,
And when you say end of summer, you would have all the asphalt project can be 100% complete by the end of summer? That would be the goal?
That's the goal.
all right, thank you, Jen. Thank you, Owen. Public comment, is there anybody online or in the audience that wishes to make a comment on this agenda item? Second time, any comments? Third time, any comments? Hearing none, I'm going to close the public hearing. Discussion and action by Plan Commission.
So I do have the conditional use permit amendment determination formed by the Plan Commission in your packet to kind of go through. That gives the history of the site. Has that the performance standards that they need to meet, and there's also a section within that document that the Plan Commission needs to go through in order to give the conditional use permit amendment. I've also included in that packet the conditions going forward on the project. And then there is also a draft of the conditional use permit that would go along with the revised. Well, essentially, we're going back to original plans. So those plans have already been vetted by staff and reapproved. So those would be attached and recorded for the project.
All right, and nothing else has changed as far as size of the buildings?
No, it goes
No.
back to the original
Wasn't-
layout.
Wasn't there correct me if I'm wrong, was there an issue on the first set of buildings with installing some lights? You gotta take care of it.
Yeah.
Yeah, I got it
Okay,
figured
I just
out.
wanted to make sure that that was addressed in
That was
the,
in
that-
this amendment.
Okay.
Yeah, I think
Or
again,
amendment 2.
that was with Owen's prior partner. He was trying to run the project and really,
sure,
he got so far ahead of himself that he wasn't really following up with Roman and doing the proper procedures. So
That was amendment, the first amendment to the conditional use permit.
okay.
I think since then Owen's got a new partner and have got things back on track here.
Okay. Anybody else from planning have anything to add? All right, we'll move into the determination. So number 1 is the proposed use consistent with the village's comprehensive plan and all other applicable ordinances and adopted plans.
Yes.
2, will the proposed use at this location and as shown on the site plan avoid causing significant negative impacts to nearby properties, the surrounding neighborhood, the environment, traffic, parking, public facilities, public property, or public rights of way? Will it protect public health, safety, and general welfare now and in the future?
Yes.
3, will the proposed use be compatible with nearby land uses in terms of type, intensity, and overall impact?
Yes.
4, is the proposed use located in an area that is adequately served by existing public services and infrastructure? And will it not place an unreasonable burden on public facilities, utilities, or services?
Yes.
And finally, number 5, do the expected public benefits of the proposed use outweigh any potential negative impacts, considering the applicant's proposal and any conditions or measures proposed to reduce those impacts? I'll entertain a motion. Motion by Beeson,
Second.
seconded by Mumper on the question.
With the conditions, I'm assuming.
Yeah. Trying to get that out.
Yeah. Yeah. It's okay.
All right, so on the motion with the conditions outlined, all those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? So carried. Thank you, Owen. Appreciate it.
No, thanks, guys.
Item number 6, unfinished business, discussion on parks and recreation impact fee review.
All right, at the last meeting in March, the Plan Commission directed staff to get the comparables from the neighboring communities, which I have included in the packet. We also took this item to the Parks and Recreation Committee as requested, or I think Roy just kind of questioned what they thought. So we took it to the committee, and they expressed, they discussed the fees and they expressed support for increasing them to better align with the surrounding communities, to help ensure that we have adequate funding for park improvements without relying heavily on the general fund. So they were in favor of raising those fees. As we stated earlier, when we were talking, we established those fees in 22 at $300 for single family units and $250 for the duplex and family units. And looking at the neighboring communities, they're anywhere from the 600 to 1,300 range. It's important to note that they actually did their facility studies before we did ours. So these are from 2016 and 17. And so in speaking to many of them, they're going to be in the process of updating theirs to get closer. So I am recommending that we utilize the original findings of that 22 facilities needs study and go to the 761, the proposed fees. So those ones on the underneath the proposed fees. The study allows you to go to those maximums. Really, the Plan Commission can approve anything that you would like. It's a recommendation to the village board. So ultimately, the board will have the say. But in looking at other communities, I think that was the major thing that everyone wanted to be around what other communities are. We're pretty low compared to them. And I've also been starting to run the housing fee study report. I have that in there, the new housing fee report. We're pretty low overall in what we charge and the amount of services that those guys provide on a new home also. So I think there's room to grow that fund a little bit so that we have some additional funding that we can utilize in the parks and for maintenance of the parks. So, but it is your purview, what you want to do. Or recommend to the board.
Anybody have any thoughts they'd like to share?
I was just wondering, have the trustees talked at all about bumping these up some or not really?
They would see your recommendation and the parks recommendation at their next meeting. So they'll get this at their next meeting to look at.
What
So
was the parks recommendation?
they just said to make sure we were staying in line with other communities and to make sure that we continue to raise money for the parks and invest in them.
Okay.
Because prior to this, for the replacement of the parks, those are ARPA funds, correct?
The playgrounds were.
The playgrounds were.
Playgrounds.
We've always collected, so essentially, prior to doing that study, we collected something called a parkland dedication fee.
Yep. For
And that was something that was put on the developer on the front end. So when we went to this, it's essentially any new construction on any housing unit. So it's apartments, mobile homes, single family home, duplex. They are paying for basically a portion of the future use of parks. So it's a small amount. I did put some information in there from Rib Mountain's study where they kind of showed it over the life of a 30-year loan on what exactly it is on your home loan. It was $6 or $3. I remember exactly.
You know, my input has always been, we're always trying to figure out how to get lower more affordable housing. And when you go watch the studies, that the state always says you work with the local community or minister, but we still have to have these amenities for the public as well, but they say work with the municipalities to lower some fees or have quicker response to getting this, not so much red tape. But I think I was probably boisterous on this last time as well, is we're conscious on trying to keep costs down for housing and development, make it more affordable. So I understand that there's a need to increase because everything else is going up as well, right? So. That's my input. Well, what are your thoughts?
This will help build up that maintenance fund for that park that we're gonna build.
I mean, I'm just looking, I mean, my 2 cents, I'm looking at the fees that we have, the proposed fees that you have there compared to what the other municipalities were, and I don't think they're unreasonable, truth be told.
No, I don't either. Right. I think there's been a good compromise from where they were when they got brought here. It was, I think also with someone looked at it and said, how are we competitive with other communities? And then, boy, that's a big drastic jump from what it
Right.
was to where we were looking at. I think we all.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, it's almost double, but we raised it, it went from 250 to 300 back
Yeah.
then. And it
Yeah.
had been 250 for probably 20 years.
Yeah.
Um,
Now that money, John, stays in that now, the rule has changed, correct? Because you couldn't assess the developer anymore for those lots when he does it up front.
in order to have that fee, you have to turn it into an impact fee. It has to be tied to that study in order to collect it. Otherwise, you couldn't collect it anymore. So that's why we changed from the parkland dedication to the park and rec impact fee. You have to, whenever you do an impact fee, because you can do impact fees on a lot of different things. It's the cost for development. So you can do an impact fee, but you have to do a study and show why you need it. So some communities do it in order to get roads or even to hire more fire. So.
My only comment was, when you're talking multifamily, it doesn't, I mean, just theoretically, if I'm building a 20-unit apartment versus a 100-unit apartment. That was my only thought, is do you give somebody a break if they're putting in a larger unit?
If they're putting larger units in, there's actual provisions in the zoning code where they're required to basically have some of those amenities on site, the bigger apartment complexes. You have to have some kind of green space area, so there could be something that would come at the plan commission or board level. There was always something like part in lieu of the park dedication fee, you could do parkland. That's how we had many of our parks.
Yeah.
So Mock Mueller Park, they paid, they donated a big portion of that and also paid, because it was a large development.
Yeah.
They did pay some in the parkland dedication, but they also did, in lieu of the dedication, they did that parkland.
And in the fees, Jen, the single family unit shows 761 and the duplex is 563. Is that per unit?
Yeah.
Multifamily, same thing that we're always asking is if we have 100 units, is it $49,000?
It would be, yes.
But yeah, that was my only, when I read through it.
And that's due upon building permit issuance.
Yes.
I mean, I think we do, but maybe I'm wrong. We offer a lot of stuff with our parks to our residents. And, you know, and it not even just the residents, I mean, anybody come to the parks and use them and stuff, but we got some really nice parks. I think our parks are nicer than, this is me personally, but any of our neighbors around here, municipalities. So we could, or I think we could, get away with charging a little bit more because of what we offer with our parks. You know, I'm all for, you know, being competitive with our neighbors as far as our fee structure, and we don't want to be way out of line, but I don't think we have to be the lowest, and I don't think we even maybe have to be the middle of the road. We could be a little on the high end just because of all the nice parks that we have in this community.
Yeah.
Jen, does that money stay in the Parkland bucket?
Yeah, you have to use it within a certain number of years. We've talked about it before and you guys have seen the last two subdivisions that have come through, Granite Ridge and they've got amenities in there that we're gonna need to do some things to help with that path that gets through
Yeah,
to
Michael was
Robin Wood.
explaining that
Yeah, I
last
was
week.
just, yeah.
Things that they're marketing already to their, like
Yeah.
in their materials,
Yep,
that there's access, there's something that has to be done in Hinder Springs to get them out to Camp Phillips. There's a little connecting point down there. So a lot of the developments that have gone in, they're adding some extra amenities there.
like, all that stuff needs maintenance,
It will, yes.
so
To come up with the number, how'd you figure out that number?
The number was done back, well, it started in 2020 with the facilities needs study. So it's all based off of a study that looked back. It was done over the course of 2 years because it got done in 2020. And then it got brought to Plan Commission, there was a change on how everyone wanted to see it. And so then, and I kind of mapped that out there. So we had worked with Mark Roffers on this. He went through, redid it, and we had proposed kind of that there was a maintenance portion of amount and then an amount that would go to Parkland, like to be able to like buy new things in the park or buy new park kind of things. When the Plan Commission got that information, they basically just said $300. So the numbers that we have now are the numbers that came out of that. The feasibility study, it is, 4 years old or whatever. But I think it's still good. I think the numbers would only go up if we did it again. And I don't want to, pay to have that study done again. The maximums on there are what came from the study and the proposed fees. So those were all generated by the amount of parks we had at the time and our population at the time. So our population has gone up quite a bit since that has done.
So this number give you enough money so the park can do whatever they need to do, but you got to
It
maintenance.
just justifies, that number is justified to collect. So we can, the study gives you the parameters for what you can collect. What you can set your fee for.
That's with that range.
So yes, the study went to a maximum for a single family was $1,000 and $1,088.
Jen, is there a formula, how does parks know, is there any growth in areas and with the need for more, I mean, because I think we have decent amount of parks. My question is there needs for more parks, and then how are you doing that now if there's not a parkland dedication from the developer? Or is that?
So the corp was done and approved, and it has to be done, I believe, every 5 years. We'll also have a component in the comprehensive plan that will integrate the work that the Parks Department and the Parks Committee did on the corp. That gets integrated into the comprehensive plan because one of the elements is parkland. So they've kind of done a study on park needs. The way that we've been handling it is depending on where it's at, is where we've been kind of funneling and kind of dedicating those funds to. I don't believe it's actually stated that we need any more parks. We just need the funds to
Support it.
support them or to enhance them. I mean, we
Sure.
still have Prohaska that we haven't done a whole lot with yet.
Yeah.
They had done a master plan. The bike and ped stuff that's happening, that's all a plan, and what people don't understand, it's a plan, so that we're looking out into the future on needs for the community and wants for the community. we get it in that plan, then Sean and Michael, myself, Jamie can go and get grants for things too. So we try to offset the kayak canoe
Yeah.
launch that got put in was all grant funded.
Yep.
But that could have been an enhancement for that Yellow Banks Park. It could have been parkland dedication funds too.
So are you able to still do parkland dedication when you do development? The developer, you can negotiate with a developer, or is that normal anymore? Like,
They
if they're gonna
tend to
put in-
just, we
They're gonna put
don't,
in 100 lots in our community.
I suppose they could come as part of the development agreement and ask the board that. That's always an option. We haven't had anybody do that lately.
Well, what do you mean by that? Explain that to me.
So each
If-
of the
if parkland-
developments have to do a development agreement.
Yep.
So I suppose anything is negotiable on a big project, but we're also collecting parkland on somebody who goes and takes, say they have a 2-3 acre lot and they divide it off into a little 3 lot CSM and then
Each
build
one has to
houses
pay.
on it,
Each one.
then we're collecting those fees.
So now you can collect the fee when they pull a building permit.
Mhm.
Prior to this, you got your parkland dedication from the developer.
I had to collect it at time of the CSM before it was recorded or the plat was recorded prior to that.
And you would never get it off of a residential house or a duplex that was on an existing property. You've been sitting there for 20 years. You
Right.
just couldn't, you didn't have the ability to do that.
Right.
Now you do.
So it
that
goes
should-
with the building permit.
So if there's needs for property in the future for parkland, you can negotiate with the developer to,
They could negotiate that they wanted to dedicate a small portion of it, similar to down south of the hospital, we have the small park down there, Sand Hill.
yep,
I don't think that would negate the fee on the permit though.
No,
it wouldn't. But I think what Jen is saying too is it may attract people to want to build there, to having it right in their development. It's just the cost of who then takes it over, unless the village, if you're gonna donate that for parkland, like Prohaska's did with theirs, then they obviously hand that over to the village is responsible, because they don't want to do a development in a park and who's gonna maintain it, who's gonna take care of it. The developer sure doesn't want that, because he's done and gone once his lots are sold. So it would be dedicated over to the village for parkland, I'm assuming. Okay, well, thanks for the info.
Anybody like to take a stab at a motion?
I'm happy with what Jen has presented, so I mean, I'd make a motion to approve what she has submitted. As long as, it seems accurate with neighboring communities where we have an opportunity to raise it. I'm not sure what everybody's flavor is, but.
I'll second.
So we have a motion to approve as presented by Gerard, seconded by Jordan. Is that correct?
Yeah, sorry.
On the question? Hearing none, all those in favor signify by saying aye. Opposed? So carried. Item number 8, 2026 new housing fee report.
7.
Oh geez, I'm sorry. You know what? They both started with unfinished business, so I just assumed. So item number 7, unfinished business, 2025 planning and development annual report. My apologies.
You got a sneak peek at this last month. We were not officially done with it. I will let Roman take the lead on this, because he was integral in getting this done.
So essentially, this report started as just really to give people a snapshot as to what we do during the course of the year from the building side. And then it evolved into what we're doing as far as the entire department is concerned. So this was really, it took 3 months plus of evolution and data consolidation to get what we have on these 34 pages here. So it's got our staff breakdown on the beginning with some tenure items in there, and then we get into what's really happening in our community from a valuation and construction activity standpoint, which is what it's really exciting. It's like, this is the stuff that I really appreciate the opportunity to be able to dive into and see the trends that are happening in our community from a valuation standpoint and a construction activity. So going back to 2018 on page 5, we've got our annual net new construction valuation. It's a large number from 2025. So 4 times what it was in 2018. So the activity over the last 3 years in particular has been phenomenal. So it's a lot of data that I'm not gonna totally bore everyone with. It's a great read when you go home and need to sip some coffee in the morning or whatever it is, okay? But we do got, from there we roll into some subdivisions and future land development, breakdowns of certified survey maps that we've done. Highlighting on page 8, some reviewed plan commission items. So we didn't want to leave this body out of the mix there. So that's kind of a breakdown of everything over the last one in 2025, and then what the 5-year averages are for what comes to plan commission. So then we get into building permit issuances, and it's just in a general building permit standpoint. We last year we processed over 1,300 permits. Wow. So we handle an extremely high volume. That's across the department. So that's a lot of permits. What
do you guys do in your spare time?
Code enforcement.
That was a sarcasm.
So, and then there is a kind of a caveats on the breakdowns of the permits that we see, and what our high volume ones are.
Roman, I got a.
Exterior repair, roofing, and then new homes. Yes, sir.
Sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt.
Yep.
1,300 inspections. Or,
1,300.
I'm sorry, 1,300 permits. How many of those have to be inspected? All of them?
They all have inspections
And-
attached to them.
And how many of them have to be inspected more than once?
Quite a few. I'd have to look at actual percentages. On a new home, we do no less than 6 inspections. That's if nobody fails an inspection.
Correct, that's not including any re-inspection, so, okay.
I think
Okay.
you're averaging more like
Yeah.
10 on those, aren't you?
Yeah. We're actually, I really appreciate that question, because we're actually, what we found out through going through all of this data is that we really needed to do a better job on tracking each individual inspection
Sure.
and what our inspection totals are over the course of the year. It's always been something where we've operated out of our online program and Outlook. So we manage 2 separate calendars. With the Outlook, since everyone can see it, it's a a global calendar. But what we found out is that we've got to do a better job of telling that story on how many inspections we're actually conducting on an annual basis, because it's over 2,000. So and that's just a rough ballpark without having the data there. That's just from.
Yeah, you're good. I was just curious. That's all. It's a lot of work for a couple people.
Yeah, and I mean, it's not just Travis and I. We're looking at a lot of different inspections. I know Water Utilities has really ramped up their usage on the platform as well, to be able to have those numbers readily available. So it's a really good program when we use it properly. So 10 is a really big one, page 10. And then we can probably jump ahead a few pages after this, but this is our new home valuation in 2025 versus all other permits. The big chunk of that pie is new home valuation. So 75% of our valuation last year was new home construction at over north of $22 million, which is it's a really exciting number. Personally, just because, I mean, we're seeing all these new subdivisions that we have out there. And yes, the cost of building is going up, but it was a really, and we're gonna see kind of a similar thing in 2026, but the size of houses that we have are definitely increasing as well. So we've got some really nice options in the community as far as starter level homes, mid-level homes, and upper end homes, which is really what the community needs, is mixed, is a good mix. So that second pie chart, and I'm gonna really give Audrey some kudos. She did all of the graphics. Okay, so there's no way we'd still be working on it if I had to create these graphics. So she has done an amazing job with the data. So this multicolored pinwheel down here on the bottom is our valuations for all of our other permits inside of that small pie from the top of that page. So commercial permit totals we have in there. It goes into a very detailed breakdown on the department and what we're doing with inspections. A lot of historical data in there too. So again, I know we're already running late tonight. So but as you skim through, Michael, there's going to be some I want to highlight on page 20. Really good one too, but 20 is going to be
No, 20.
we'll stay on track. Go to 20. That is our, since 1996, the Village of Weston Incorporation. When we look at this, we had some really monster years as far as construction is concerned in the late 90s and early 2000s. But as you can see, that the total that we have at 2025 is a 19-year high in new home construction. So it's really nice to see that we've got this kind of development in the community. And I did like to put in our largest contributors for the residential growth on the top side of page 20 there. That's something I've tracked over since 2017. I'm able to track who our largest contributors are in that sector, and do the same thing for commercial construction as well. And then we go into some similar charts on the next few pages.
Is that the characteristic of the two families? Looks like 0 and
Yep.
5?
Yep. And so that paragraph goes into a little bit on the two family kind of drought that we're seeing over the last handful of years.
What about 0 lot line? Is that considered, what are you putting?
We consider that a duplex. So it's a two family structure. Yes, it's zeroed off so that it's two separate entities.
Well, you didn't have any of those in 25?
No.
Really?
No. We had several of the 4 units. And then everything else was single family.
Seems to be a very popular item right now is a 0.
Yeah.
They're coming back in.
Twins.
They'll be in this next year.
Yeah, in 2026, that's the next phase in Hinter Springs, is they're doing more of those.
Yeah.
There's
Yeah.
some in Granite Ridge also.
Granite Ridge as well, right? So it's a good product. I think it tailors more towards the individuals who have owned a home already versus are still renting. So I think the twin homes, it's a
Or if they're retiring.
Retiring.
Spend their winters down in Phoenix or Florida or something, and they have the maintenance done by somebody, the lawn mowing and the snow plowing.
It's a smaller lot, so there's a lot less maintenance to it.
A lot of them are 0 entry as well, so.
Yeah.
So, like I said, it's a tremendous amount of data that we put into here. So it is, like I said, it's definitely, really would appreciate if everyone would take the time, you know, to comb through it if you haven't already. Just to, it really, we do a lot with what we have. And that's something that our department, prides ourselves on.
Is that kind of why you wear a hat, Roman, instead of like Michael? He just shows us.
Roman actually has hair. He hides it just so I don't get jealous.
Yep, that's right. I don't want to, don't want to make Michael jealous. So, yeah, no, I wear a lot of hats, Page 28, though, I'm going to end it with the last couple of things here. Page 28, is a breakdown over the last 5 years, of the four big sectors, which are residential, commercial, commercial being more of your retail stuff, industrial being, your manufacturing and those sort of items, and then public sector improvements, which is our facilities, the school district's facilities, anything that would fall into that public sector improvement. So there's some really big numbers in overall in construction in 2023 as well. That was some hefty numbers. So we are kind of a little bit down from 2023 over the last 2 years, but
Well, 23 was that Green and Turner. Pretty high
Yeah.
value projects going on.
absolutely. So that's a specific case where it's really tough to, you can't quantify it as anything else other than a public sector improvement, right? So that's really why I wanted to make sure that we got those sort of things in there. So.
That's correct too.
Other communities, does Wausau do something like this? This is really nice.
And then, we've got
They do or
some,
not. I've been wanting to do it for a while and
Yeah.
Roman got it going, so.
so this is, the intent is that this will be our year-end report on an annual basis in this format. So now that we've got it
It'll have
formatted,
inspections
it's gonna,
next year.
it's
It'll
gonna go a
continue
lot
to get
faster.
better too.
Yeah.
It does have inspections.
And then our last 4 pages, we put community maps in there, so that way people can kind of see where all the projects are happening at across the community. So again, Audrey did an awesome job in GIS with the maps here. But just kind of doing some preparation for next year when we have hopefully more multifamily projects and that sort of stuff. That way we'll see the same repetition of maps in the years to come. So.
Very well done.
Nice job.
You have a lot of time involved in this.
Fortunately, it was really snowy this winter, so.
All right, anybody got any other questions for Roman? All right, thank you, Roman, and the rest of the planning staff. Appreciate it. So now we're back to item number 8, 2026 new housing fee report.
So this is an annual report that is required by the state of Wisconsin because we are over 10,000 people. It's required by state statutes. We have been reporting on this since 2019, I believe. So we just because we're doing all these different reports, we made this one a little bit more prettier, I guess to say. But essentially the state statutes, they require us to report on, let's see, page 92, there's the list of the different items that each community has to provide information on their website on or in this report. So we're also required to put our fee schedule in there and basically, so this is a document that somebody who is coming to develop in the area or is looking at the cost of development in the area can look at to see how the fees, what those fees are and potential fees. So they also have some Hence that we have to show, so I guess the big one for us is that the 2025 average total fee cost for each new residential dwelling unit minus remodeling fees and other fees typically included in the building permit of a new home, but also listed in table 2 separately, was just over $622 for each permit.
Table 1, Jen, the building permit fee, I mean, that's your down payment, so obviously you get occupancy permit.
So I had to back all that stuff out,
Oh,
all those fees out. So
okay.
that's what's so hard on this is that, so you'll look at it, so table 2, you kind of see that. We had, I had to back out the land dedication fees too. So last year we collected almost $22,000 worth of that park and rec impact fee.
Sure.
And you have to, this also, it's it's not a very good report in my mind, because what they make us do is they make us utilize so I have to take what Roman got for building permits for 2025. And I also have to do all these calculations though, based off of units that are created. So some of those units are not created in the year with the permit. So it's not looking at his building permit, it's looking at Granite Ridge getting approved for 88 lots, plus the number of residential lots that got approved by a CSM or something like that. You guys have approved Bull Junior View as a preliminary plat. Those fees are in here for 2025 because they were charged those in 25. But you're not gonna see that plat and those units until potentially next year, and they still might not be built on for the year after that. So I don't quite understand the reasoning behind this when I was doing everything,
Numbers can be construed though.
but this is the way that they require you to do.
In a large community, it evens out. In a
I
small- in a
suppose. I
small
looked at like the
community, it's-
Milwaukee ones and that kind of stuff, and they're more in the like closer to $1,000 range for their stuff. But like the city of Wausau doesn't, like theirs is really, they're not making new subdivisions, so they're not making new lots. They're making apartments, but that's not so theirs was just very, very, they didn't have a lot of information on theirs.
All right. Anybody
This will
got,
just go on the website.
This stays on the website then, Jen, for anybody to view?
Yeah, so basically what I have done is I've archived all of the old ones off, so you can still see those, but yes, this is required to be posted. And then underneath future agenda items, we still have to work on that 2026 housing affordability report, which is also required. Statute.
right, anything else to add?
Nope.
Anybody got any questions for Jen?
Did you want a motion to acknowledge?
Yes, please.
See a motion to acknowledge.
Move to acknowledge.
Second.
Motion by Mumper, seconded by Hoffman. On the question? Hearing none, all those in favor signify by saying aye. Opposed? So carried. Item number 9, March 2026, staff approved certified survey maps and site plans. Just need a motion to acknowledge, correct?
Yeah, move to acknowledge.
Second.
Motion by Jordan, seconded by Zagami. On the question? Hearing none, all those in favor signify by saying aye.
All right.
Opposed? So carried. Item number 10, March 2026 building permits.
Move to acknowledge.
Second. Third.
Motion by Zagami, seconded by Hoffman. On the question? Hearing none, all those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? So carried. Item number 11, Planning and Development Department Monthly Project Update Report.
So I just want to make sure that you all take the community survey.
I have extra postcards if you have any place to
Take
play.
it before you leave. We are not getting very good results, which I have to go back and look what we had gotten before, when we did this 10 years ago. It's even easier to take it now because all you have to do is scan the QR code. It's been in the newsletter, but where we at? 300 and some.
like 393. Last time we checked.
Yeah.
Yeah, I did mine. I just did
And
mine.
we have postcards at 8 of the 9 banks, Becca's Cafe and Weston House too.
And we're posting it online and there's lots of hits, but people are
That's a
not
great
taking.
idea. Should have handed them out at
Hand
the
'em out the
election.
election.
We did twice.
Oh, you did?
We actually had a gentleman in the hallway that asked.
Both
if-
elections.
Well, I never got them. You vote? Yeah.
Absentee?
Yeah, I voted for Dorn. I wanted you off this thing.
He didn't run.
I know, I'm kidding.
Yes, so it'll be open until May 15th. And then we will be coming with those results to the Plan Commission and the board. So those meetings will start in probably June. Other than that, I did receive the PD's new building plans today, site plans, so they are wanting to be on the next agenda, so staff will be beginning review on that to hopefully have for you next month.
What was that, Jen?
The PD's new building on Community
Yeah,
Center
okay.
Drive.
This is probably just hearsay but somebody asked me last week if the rumor was true that Woodman's is coming to the Village of West.
Not that we're aware of.
Not that we're aware of.
Either confirm or deny.
That's
Sometimes we're the
exactly
last.
how rumors start.
Well, yeah.
Sometimes we're the last to know though, so I don't.
They would be welcome if they wanted to have a conversation.
Okay. Anybody got any other questions on item 11?
We're almost done with the Burger King review. So they will be tearing the building down and starting new
How soon do they plan to tear that down?
soon.
Okay.
New by fall. or-
Yeah, it should be new by fall.
All right, I think we just need a motion to acknowledge item number 11 if nobody's got any questions. Motion by Gurnt, seconded by Hoffman. On the question? Hearing none, all those in favor signify by saying aye. Opposed? So carried. 12, announcements and commissioner remarks. Trav? Nothing. Dave?
I
Gary?
just want to commend Joe on his conversation at the last meeting. I thought that was absolutely phenomenal. And it was time well needed to be, or to happen. Let's hopefully the truce can be, or the hatchet can be buried. I'm not sure if it will be, Joe, or not, but very well done. Phenomenal. Thank you.
Thank you.
Just thank you for your service, Joe.
Well, yeah, and I really appreciate Steve and like I say, I'm not going away. I kind of hope that you don't either. If you get a chance to take a little time off here, you deserve it. But
Appreciate
there's still a lot of work to be done in the committees because that's where I think the action really is, you know, and we got some other young guys coming on. Maybe we can teach them a few things and continue to move forward. So I really appreciate what you brought to this.
I appreciate it. Whoosh? Can I call you that?
Joe, be on the committee with me, all the work, and also the planning commission.
Look forward to
Get
doing
your
some more.
wisdom.
Yep.
Being there. Thank you.
Thank you. I just want to thank everybody for having me. So it's been a pleasure. Appreciate it. Thank you. Number 13, future agenda items or staff referrals. So we have 3 of them. Unfinished business, discussion of an internal inspection process for conditional use permits in a wellhead protection zone. Electrical vehicle charging stations and 2026 housing affordability report.
The charging station. We got one by Target. Where are we gonna put it on?
So there was a recent request to put a Tesla charging station in the Festival Foods parking lot. So right
Business
next,
51.
Business 51.
Oh, yeah.
Currently, it was turned down by staff because it could not meet the accessory structure, principal structure standards. because we do not have regulations specific for charging stations. So in some communities, they have special regulations for them, so they can be located along basically the road more so. Our code does not allow for anything in front of the principal structure setback. They were planning to put it like right.
Part of it was in the road right away.
It was part of it, is in the road, yes, over there, and also kind of in the drive lane. It's kind of messy over there already, so.
So that's a small lot to fit
Yeah.
there.
Wanted 8 of them in there.
We also got asked for Amazon also out there for them, so I'm sure we're getting another request from them. They asked about regulations, so we sent them some information, so it's becoming more popular. There's also the chance that somebody could buy a lot and want to put one, kind of like a gas station, so we've been kind of toying around it and looking at it. Back when Carrie was here, we sat through some things, listening about how different communities are handling them. So we could be bringing some things forward for you guys to look at in the future.
So what about that property, which was a Chinese restaurant, and now they knocked the building down, but it's still the
It's
property?
that's owned by the Green Hacks, I believe. Yeah.
Oh,
I
the
thought
old,
they owned by Thomas.
you're talking the old Danny's? Okay.
No. Right by where's the veteran
That's in-
facility is?
That's in Rothschild,
The Chinese restaurant, which one?
where Kobe Teppanyaki used to be, next to the
Oh, yeah,
strip
that's.
mall
in
where
Rock.
Subway and,
Is that a
yeah.
restaurant?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's
It would be a good spot for
Is
them
it
to
good
go, but
spot?
for one reason, I don't know why they want, they must have had an agreement with Festival Foods or whatever.
Hmm.
For it, but
I
right
know
now
that
we had to
Tom-
deny it because it did not meet, so that was, I had that in the report, so. They did contact me last week asking for like information on setbacks and things like that. That lot also is similar to Burger King's where for some reason it's essentially two different lots. The lot line runs right next to the grocery store, and so the parking lot is in a totally different lot. So.
Because I know the owner of that is Tom. I can propose to him if he wants to.
It would be a good place for it, closer to the highway, with more room to get around. This one, we had concerns of just, there's some traffic issues there already. And then the right of way, and we weren't sure exactly, there's a highway project going on there, but they're still designing it, so.
Well, it's a future agenda item, so it'll have
Yeah.
to be discussed at a.
I'm gonna take
Over
a
time.
trip, so I'll talk to him. He's in Monaco, that sushi shop in there.
Oh, sure, yeah. Okay. Anybody else have any future agenda items or staff referrals they'd like added? All right, number 14, next regular meeting date, Monday, May 11th, 2026 at 6 p.m. I don't know who the chair will be yet, but. And then I guess for me, for the last time, I'll take a motion to adjourn.
Please.
Motion by Deason,
Second.
seconded by Mumper on the question. Hearing none, all those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? So carried. We are adjourned at 7:38 p.m.
Thanks a lot, Steve.
Thank you.